Yes, sat sri akal ji, kidda theek thaak hai?
Sat Sri Akal.
How are you?
I'm very fine. I'm very happy that you are aligning yourself with the UN Charter.
Yes,
That
tell me, what is your understanding? What is your experience? What is your interest in these 17 sustainable goals? How are they relevant in your life?
you see, at least there are 4 or 5 point out of 17 which are already in vogue. For example, at national level, at state level, and even community level, we are taking care of the poverty and particularly the hunger. Firstly, we are very happy to see that all Sikh community abroad in any country are doing fairly well. There's no problem. The issue is only in Punjab, where the land has shrunk in size because of the population and over the year division of property. People have less than 1 acre of land holding. Land being small, there need to be an alternate jobs. So a lot of effort is on, but as a community, I think Sikh community, Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee, or Akali Dal, whoever is the leader of the community per se, has to contribute significantly. Further, creating jobs, creating skills, and giving employment, then the youth will be satisfied and happy.
Yes, but as you say, those of us who have moved away from the Punjab or living abroad, we're doing fairly well. But
Yeah.
those who remain in the Punjab, as you say, they're not doing so well because some people are quite affluent. They have much more than 1 acre of land. You know, the zamindar. There's still a lot of wealth there and industrialization, but there's still poverty. We can't say that we have tackled the issue of poverty, inequality, even in the Punjab, even though we practice Sikhi, but we haven't, in 500 years, we haven't actually eradicated inequalities, social inequalities, have we?
See, as per the Sikh culture or teaching, that kirt karna, vand shagna, and nam japna, the basic 3 principles. Based on to this, people are hardworking in Punjab, but the land being small and the new generation want a good life, smart life, new life, either they are moving toward the town or they're looking for job. So far, the outlet for community was Army, Navy, Air Force, and other police where they can go. But now technology has come in a big way. So we need to improve our education system.
Yes, and
Waiting for the government to take government school, private schools have to come up through our effort, community effort. Education has to improve.
and from what I can gather, a lot of the education in the Punjab, even it's not focused so much on well-being as it is focused on being productive and getting a good job. So the reason I say this is because I hear stories of more and more youngsters turning to drugs, turning to like being very disillusioned, very depressed because they can't escape from the Punjab, as it were. So there's that sense of not well-being, there's that sense of dissatisfaction, discontent, and the quality of education doesn't seem to be improving people's sense of satisfaction in life.
True. A lot is being done, but as a community, we must have more, a lot more private schools where education, basic education up to secondary school is free and of quality. Need good teacher, good infrastructure, and people have to learn new technology, new thing for getting a job. Old method, just knowing Punjabi, a bit of Hindi, and little bit of English is not good enough. Number 2, we have industrial training institute called ITIs, which are by the central government, state government. These institutions take students from class 6 onwards, 6 to 8, and they are given 4-year training, learning various trades, maybe carpentry, maybe blacksmithy, maybe electrician, and they are trained, certified, and they get jobs. Lot more has to happen, more infrastructure, and instead of waiting for the Punjab government to set up ITI, as a community, we should set more institutions with a quality of teaching staff, quality of infrastructure, so that those skills are internationally acceptable. Then people will be able to migrate, get job elsewhere, not only restricted to Punjab boundary, but all over. So we as a community has to contribute in education and healthcare more than what is already on. A lot is being done by the state government, central government. A lot of programs are there, but much more can be done by us.
When we talk about healthcare, for example, because in the past, people used to rely a lot on desi douan, whereas these days, a lot of people are relying on the allopathic medicine as opposed to the desi medicine. Do you think that is sustainable? Like, for example, for conditions like depression, for conditions like diabetes, for other chronic illnesses like Alzheimer's, dementia, etc. For these chronic illnesses, is there focus on, sustainable desi douan, or are we still relying on the allopathic Western medicine?
No, there is a very good awareness now that it has to be integrated approach. Everything is not allopathic, but what is affordable and more with less side effects is Ayurvedic, homeopathic, and now other yogic exercise has come, which is a part of the healthcare, body improvement, healthcare. So healthcare, what we have now, we have primary health center, PHCs at village level. These PHCs are connected to the district general hospital, and these hospitals are connected up to the state headquarters that is in Chandigarh. Now it has to improve. Below the PHC, now Punjab has taken a good model that Mohalla clinics. In every nook and corner, there should be small clinic, which is affordable. In fact, it's free. And particularly as Sikhs in Delhi have been doing a great job having clinic which is open to all, clinic like dialysis center, dialysis free center. Similarly, cancer center, they have set it up. And a lot is being done at Delhi, particularly by the Delhi Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee. But as a nation, which head is a Punjab, we need to set up clinic with our effort. Like in every Gurdwara, there is a clinic, small little dispensary, but it's not good enough. Lot more has to be done so that in Panchayat house, in a Gurdwara, in every Panchayat, every village, wherever it is, good medicines are available.
What about the ecological environment and cutting down trees? Because every time I go to the Punjab, it seems as though people are not very interested in planting trees, for example, because they need the land to grow their vegetables and whatever. So what I've heard is that in the Punjab, there's a lot of there's a danger of the land becoming like Rajasthani land, that it's not going to be sustainable in terms of being able to.
No, a lot of tree plantation is being done, but that is cash crop. They plant tree which grows, say, about 15 feet or 20 feet high, and they sell it to make money. So while the crop is in the field, on the boundary of each field, they try to plant these trees which grow up to about 20 feet, 30 feet. And they are sustainable. They give you good shade. They also give you environmental protection. And at the same time, it's a cash crop for the farmer. Land is very small. So the natural, in olden days, there used to be thick gardens, uh, guava gardens and mango grove and so on. Those things are gone. As I told you, there's hardly a family which has 5 acres of land. People are having 2 acres, 1 acre. So they cannot be growing trees
Yes.
except on the boundaries as a cash crop.
Right. So is that sustainable? So as you say, like in the past, we used to have mango groves and, orchards, guava orchards. And but is it sustainable if we're simply planting trees as cash crops? Is that sustainable?
It is sustainable because luckily now even in the marshy land, which is not much in use for construction or otherwise, along railway tracks or other areas which are not so good, the plantation comes up. So people try to plant trees over there. Likewise, people are also trying to put up the solar panels along the tracks, along the this, so without sacrificing the crops in the main field, they're trying to put trees, trying to put panels in the area which otherwise is not cultivable, they not so much productive, is barren. So all area which was so far not utilized for growing crops are being used for crops, growing trees, and also energy, maybe solar panels and so on.
So let's talk about the Sikhi concepts. You talked about, you talked about Kirt Kamal. So to do ethical work, do you feel that in the Punjab, most people are engaged in Kirt Kamal, or are some people engaged in doing work that is not sustainable, that is, simply eroding the land or causing distress, causing stress?
See this principle of hard work, earning, sharing, and caring, helping the needy. That's a very good ethos which Sikh community has and is carrying on still. But the new generation, which are younger people, want to pick up good skill and they're looking for good salary and good quality of life. They will fly in any moment. They don't want to stay on deep in the village, which may be in the border areas or the backward area. They move on to the town where they can pick up good skill and pick up job, set up a shop, and so on. So that migration carries on. Whereas normally, on the average, a family in Punjab used to have 3 to 4 children average. Some could be having 6 to 8. Now that has come down to 1 to 2. And out of those, 50% people are keen to move out and go. 50% out of the remaining 50%, at least 20% are looking for a job in the defense services, police services, and others. But there are 30% people who are still trying to stay on and sustain their life by plowing fields, growing crops, and selling in the market.
And that's becoming more and more difficult from what I can gather. I mean, I come from a small village in the Punjab, and in my village, most people have moved abroad, and now people are moving in from different parts of India, like the Gujarat, for example, and setting up things like pizza shops, which didn't exist previously. And so I'm just wondering how that's going to have an impact on sustainability in terms of what people are eating, because if people are eating, if the diet is changing, and it's kind of causing more diabetes, it's causing kind of higher cholesterol, how is that going to have an impact in terms of sustainability and well-being?
See, it has to be this community drive as well as the government state level. Otherwise, the people are switching to smart food, which is a packed food and more spicy food, and that costs more, instead of growing their own natural food, maybe fruit, maybe vegetable, and eat those which we used to. That is less and less. But still, it is there. Out of a family of 4 people, at least 2 of them are still sticking on and they're going on. But 2 people are very ready to switch. I mean, they'll go and buy a bottle of Coca-Cola instead of buying a bottle of lassi or any other juice. So people, that's the natural phenomenon.
Well, that reminds me, you're talking about drinks, and that reminds me about the issue about clean water. In the village that I come from, there is no clean water there. We used to have wells, but those wells have dried up and the tap water is not drinkable. So whenever I go to the village, I have to rely on bottled water because the tap water is polluted. So what is being done in terms of making.
The situation has improved considerably. Most of the villages have a pipe water which is coming through a central overhead tank in the neighborhood, which is supplying to 4 or 5 villages, and they laid out the pipe. So at time the water comes, the people take it from there. In addition to that, every house, almost every house, has a hand pump, which is they sunk in the soil and they take out the water. And people are very conscious. People are using purifier and water purifier. People have in the houses set up so that they have a clean water, which is not having germs and all. That awareness has come. So water is not a problem in Punjab. Uh, it may be in Haryana, maybe Rajasthan, when the water level has gone very low and sinking a well is difficult. But
Yeah.
nobody today in Punjab goes to a well with a pitcher to pick up a water. Everybody is having pipe water or their own hand pump
Well,
available to them.
in my village, the water level has gone so low that it's not possible. So that's what the issue is. The water level has increasingly kind of like gone deeper and deeper. So we don't have clean water there.
Maybe in some parts, but I am quoting mainly from Amritsar and Gurdaspur, the area where I'm from. Uh, that has a lot of water canals, a lot of rivers flowing through. Because of that, the soil has water. In that, water level is not very low. It is still okay. In fact, a lot of flooding, a lot of water is there.
Yeah, a lot.
And there's a lot of sense in water harvesting in a way, not so much, but there is there. Uh, Water catchment area, people are trying to create fishery tanks, part of agriculture, and those things are there.
And when we talk about fishery tanks, how does that fit in with our Sikh principles? It's like, are we meant to be cultivating fishery tanks? Is that in alignment with Sikh principles?
Oh, well, fishery tanks are not many in Punjab in particular, but as a concept, if there's a water area, they try to make a tank where you try to various types of fish. But since in Punjab, uh, probably chicken and goat is more popular than to have a fish. But still, from the river side, a lot of fishing as a business, as a job. A lot of fishermen go to the nearby village or there and they bring fish, and fish is plenty available in the market.
Yeah. Okay. Could you just excuse me for 2 minutes? Could you
Yes.
just excuse? Okay. Thank you. I'm sorry. Yes, my question to you was about peace and social justice. How is it that as with these goals, how does peace and social justice interplay with all of the other goals like reducing poverty and reducing hunger? Do we feel that we are doing as much as we can for social justice and peace in the region?
See, there are 2 points. One is at a state level. When social justice, there is no discrimination between the Sikhs and non-Sikhs, scheduled caste and Jats. Every citizen of Punjab is being helped, being looked after. But if we say of community per se, then it is the job of particularly this Shri Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee and the Akali Dal, which the headquarter is there in Amritsar itself. Whatever resources they have to pool it and try to set up more facilities instead of banking on this government. Government will carry on their task. But in addition, if they wish to do, the easier way is like every Gurdwara should have a healthcare facility well equipped, not mere a dispensary to give you few tablets, but well equipped. Likewise,
Can you give me a bit of a tip?
Yes. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Yes, you were saying.
yeah, see, when the uh, social justice it relates to well-being socially, people should be no discrimination. People should be all equal, respected, and if any discrimination, that should be removed. Now, one is the natural system of the government, judiciary is there, people complain from panchayat upward. There is some redressal by the panchayat house, and thereafter tahsils, thereafter division, thereafter the district, and so on. But in addition, we should have a redressal system further connected up. Akal Takht is the head where anybody who does anything wrong can be called upon, and he or she is given a particular direction what to do, what not to do. But if should be percolated that Akal Takht is not a headquarter, that he or she who happens to reach Amrit for a complaint will be attended to, but it should be a network of people from the village level right up to top. If anything happening to the community, to the otherwise.
We talk about
Most
institutions then. So the gurdwaras is, they have become very strong institutions wherever they are. But do you believe that there are enough partnerships between the gurdwaras and those who may not be integral to the gurdwara? So do we have enough partnerships with other community institutions?
You see the Gurdwaras, luckily, almost one Gurdwara will be among two villages, if not one. Gurdwaras come everywhere. It's very nice, but maybe 30% or 40% of them get politicized, where it becomes a seat of power, and the chairman of the Gurdwara or the leader of the Gurdwara becomes the chief, and he started dictating terms, he started making misuse of money and funds and so on forth. And that's the tragic part. But despite all that, even then, every Gurdwara should be controlled, should be registered centrally, and will given and should be inspected periodically, at least twice or thrice in a year. What are they doing? There should be system of feedback, and that's one way of propagating the policies, and the welfare of the community per se is to be done through the Gurdwara. Is a very good institute, and wherever some mistake that can be corrected, but that is one good way.
How many of the gurdwaras are led by women? How much gender equality is there in the gurdwaras in Punjab?
Total number of Gurdwaras?
Yeah, more or less. Like, I don't expect you to have like an exact.
I'm just saying normally, in earlier time, 5 villages used to have one panchayat house. Today, in Punjab, every village is a panchayat. So likewise, there used to be Gurdwara, one amongst 10 or 8 villages, one main Gurdwara, and everybody used to walk across there and pay respect in there. But today, Gurdwaras have come up almost every big village has a Gurdwara, and if a smaller village is there, Even they have a Gurdwara. Gurdwara is almost in every village, except a very tiny village may not have. Any village with a population of 200 or more has a Gurdwara.
And how many of them are led by women?
By women.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
see,
because we talk about the leadership. We talk about the leadership in the Gurdwara. So my question is about gender equality, because I know that Sikhi advocates gender equality, but then we need to see that visible in leadership. So how many of the Gurdwaras have women leading the Gurdwara?
very low, very low. Maybe 10%, because every leader is supposed to be a Jathedar who is a Jat Sikh, who can wield powers, who can control people, who can do various things. And that's what is there. Women can only participate in functions and other kirtan and other activities. But when it comes to administration, giving education, giving first aid, giving health care, and propagating religion, then it's not in the control of women's.
And
Very few.
yeah, so that's if we
Only once in Akal Takht, there used to be a lady who became the chief of Akali Dal once. Otherwise, it is always the gents.
Yes. So you see, this is, in a way, there's a contradiction between what we believe and the philosophical rationale about equality in Sikhi, because we don't see it at the leadership level. We don't see it demonstrated in our behaviors.
It is by the time a man is 40 years to about 50 years of age, he is well set and he is forceful and he has connectivity to lead and control the Gurdwara. At the age of 40, a normal woman in Punjab will be loaded with the responsibility of bringing up the children, their need, their education, their other needs. So women in India is an institution which is looking after the entire family. Most of the uh, dealings and customs and other social uh, get together, etc., is all on the women. So women are not free to go toward the direction to look after Gurdwara and spend their time. Very few. They are so busy in their job, either as they're looking after the family, and if she's a serving woman, she's just doing the job. I don't find people, a woman heading the Gurdwara committee. She may be a member.
Yes. And in terms of the jobs, then let's look at professional, women in leadership positions in the civil society. How representative, or how balanced is it in terms of gender?
It's not bad at a national level. When Punjab is doing well, we have a women who are in the, you can say, in judiciary, in the police, and they are good. Then there are in the area of teaching, in education, women's a very good leader, very good administrator. Many of them are vice chancellors. Many of them are head of department. They are very good.
What about
And
so at the universities in the Punjab, then, is there a a balanced representation of women in the universities at the leadership positions?
leadership may be less, but when it's a teaching faculty, uh, women folks will be about 70%, while the male will be about 30%. More girls after basic their master degrees and PhD switch on to teaching because that is a little more conducive to family raising and other aspects. So we find more and more number of women in the teaching area. Of course, they will, in time, they become head of department, but there are chancellors, I think, if men are 60%, but 30% women are in a good position in education. And whether it's the policy matters, department heads, or But in the university per se, our colleges, headmistress are many, but university level, a few.
Yes, again, it's like I'm thinking about those in leadership, senior leadership positions, because the quality of education is influenced by those in the leadership positions. Teachers will teach what is there on the curriculum. Sometimes teachers don't have the power or the autonomy to change how the curriculum has been designed they follow the orders from above. So I'm looking at, well, in terms of that quality of education, who is asking about the content of education and the purpose of education and how
See,
we're educating?
in India, the education quality is controlled by 3 to 4 organizations. One is the University Grant Commission. It controls all universities, setting up a university, disbanding a university, monitoring a university. Then we have National Board of Accreditation. Then we have other quality departments with quality assurance. So they carry out annual inspections. So guidelines are there. Number two, if the private university, even then they have to follow the curriculum and the program of various courses as per the AICTE. There is a All India Council of Technical Education, which sets up the norms, it gives the guideline. People have to comply with this. Now, point is the leadership which is in the university matching those to ensure that there is inspection carried out, and if there's a discrepancy is pointed out and trying to correct. But surely if the leader by itself, by himself or herself is enthusiastic, things will go better. But quality of education in India is well controlled by the central university, by the UGC, by the NBC, by the NAC, by the AICT, and then the AICT. There's so many organizations whose job is monitoring and certifying and giving a feedback whether the unit should carry on or not.
I have, there are teachers who gain their teaching qualifications in India, but when they go abroad, like for example to England, they have to do their teaching qualifications again because those qualifications, that training they received there, is not considered to be relevant. So,
Not at par.
I'm sorry? The quality of education is seen to be kind of lesser, that it doesn't meet the standards.
It's true. For example, only few institutions of India, that even in USA, people who come from IITs, Indian Institute of Technologies, people who come from AIMS, people who come from high institutions, there are only few. Those degrees are considered at par. There is a very good effort going on to match the international standard of education. Like in USA, they have Washington Accord for the engineering education. The Washington Accord lays down what education standard must be. So in India, we're trying to go closer to those, may not be the same. But what you are saying, in a way, it is true. You see, still at the execution level, in class teaching, we resort to more descriptive, not descriptive type. We want to restrict a very ready-made question, straight answer. While in England or other country, I have been to many universities there, a question is very innovative, it's creative, it's descriptive. You have to determine what solution to apply to get it out, not a straight question. So they feel the creativity and innovation is much less in our system as compared to UK system or the USA system. But notwithstanding, Indian education system is reasonably good.
A lot of it seems to be based on memorization, doesn't it? Like which is a skill, which is an important, useful skill, the skill of memory. Here in England. I was brought up in England, and in England, I
See,
wasn't.
memorizing is that's very old thing. The modern technology has advanced so much. There is a much less to memorize and regurgitate, but rather to innovate, integrate, and applied. So applied knowledge comes through creative thinking, innovating, finding a solution which is cost effective, which is more endurable. So those things have come in. So education system has improved considerably. For example, uh, I have written a book. I'll send you some copy of that. There's just so much has come into people have to be in prototyping, in making a pilot project, and very quick, developing. The development of a product or a process has to be very quick and efficient. It also helps to have reusability and not ab initio reinventing the wheel. Progressively, people have to add on. So technology revolution has come in a good way, and maybe Corona has helped the people to adapt ICT, which is a more of internet and communication technology interface, learning from home, doing from remote, and people are forced to find solution to the unknown problem in a way.
Mm, yes, and I suppose these sustainable goals, through the power of the technology, as you say, it should enable us to collaborate and to co-create knowledge and to develop the skills that are needed so that we can tackle all of these issues.
See, all it starts, people try to catch top-down implementation. People catch university, come down to college, and keep on discussing. Your in-feed, which is coming input to that, is from higher secondary school, from primary school. We have to improve that education more so that the intake to the university itself, a people ready to innovate and ready to be creative. Otherwise, we remain on the top looking at the university while at the school level. So total system from school to higher secondary school to diploma to ITI to college to university has to improve, and we are doing well, not too bad.
Okay, good. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Sarbjit Singh ji. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, and I look forward to speaking to you again very soon. Bye for now.
Thank you. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you. Bye.